Hey everyone, welcome back to What Are You Chasing? Today with me I have a good friend, Jennifer Buck. I'm going to go ahead and let Jennifer tell all of you a little bit about herself. Hi Jennifer.
Hi, Crystal. Well, thank you so much for having me on here. Um, oh, I don't even know a little bit about myself. Well, I'm a recovering drug addict. I, um, I, I'm just a regular person. I've had my share of traumas. I've had my share of brokenness. I was diagnosed bipolar, so I had paperwork saying I was broken, and I had built an identity on being broken. And what I've learned with the three principles has been, it just changed my life.
Absolutely. I love how you worded it that you had papers
Oh, yeah.
telling you you were broken. Like I think that happens to a lot of us because I've had my labels. And no disrespect to anybody, I've had mine, put on me where, I had general anxiety disorder and panic disorder. Um, and when you come to this understanding and you live this understanding, you see that it's just thought, which sounds so simple and like really, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Who believes that, right?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I knew I was in my head. I knew I felt like a prisoner in my own mind. I would wake up and it felt like I was under attack, which is, you pick the thought, you're not good enough. You don't deserve this. You're not worthy. You're gonna mess up. It didn't matter what the thought was. You're gonna lose everything. Why are you even trying? It was just constant, like bombs coming in at me all the time. And this is when I was medicated. Like
Isn't yeah.
when I was doing the things, and I like to refer to my mind as like the ocean. Lived on the surface of the ocean all the time. And my thinking would create tropical storms and hurricanes and tsunamis. And I was there just holding on, withstanding the storm. And this understanding taught me that I didn't have to withstand the storm, that if I just dropped below the thinking, I would come into this calm, quiet, just like with the ocean, no matter how turbulent it is on the surface. The further down you go, the calmer and more steady it is. And it's the same for us. And it came a little bit at a time where first I had to notice that I was in a storm, because 38 years I was used to the constant storm. Even on the great days that were like perfect, it was windy.
Right.
There was always some sort of weather going on in my head. And at first it's like I would just drop down a little bit, like I could still feel the wind blowing my hair, but every time I could see it as thought and drop below it, I got a little bit further down, and the you know pretty soon I couldn't feel the wind at all.
I
And
love it.
as a life changer, that changed everything.
it really does. And, the difference, like, first of all, I love your analogy and metaphor. You've told me it before of the ocean and how, you use that to explain what your experience was. And it's a beautiful one. Um, Before I came to this understanding, I didn't even realize I was in my head.
right?
I didn't think, like, if you would have said, do you have a busy mind? I would have been like, well, overanalyze things, but like, no, no. I mean,
That's what version. Which
right. So it wasn't until, yeah, like I stood back until I could drop down, as you say, and I realized once I got clarity of mind and my thoughts slowed down, it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize how much thought was going on in my head. It's and how much I was putting myself through, just like you were saying with the, pick your thing. You're not good enough. You'll never amount to that. You don't deserve that. Or, and I've said on an episode before with Vanna, that's our ego is so loud and obnoxious and mean and hurtful, but we believe it.
when I had to go to like the psychologist and stuff, how I explained my mind, what was going on in my mind on any given day at any given time, was that it wasn't different people. I wasn't a schizophrenic. They were
Right.
all me. They were
Right.
just the versions of myself that I had created throughout my life.
Mm-hmm.
And they all had an opinion on everything that I did. And it was like being in a kindergarten class where they're all trying to talk over the others, and it would get really, really loud. Now, back in the day, I would smoke meth to calm it, to make them raise their hands. And then I got medicated, and that made them raise their hands, but they still got loud. And then as I came to this understanding, I started to see that all of the separation was only thought. And now I've always been really self aware and I journaled, and that's how I knew my different versions and which ones they were. And it it was crazy to me. And slowly I started losing them until there was less and less versions. And then, yeah, not knowing I was in my head. I didn't know I was in my head, and I had to start to become aware of my physical symptoms. I started to notice when I would, scrunch my brow, like wrinkle my
Yeah.
forehead because I pain, or when I would tense up. I noticed that before I realized I was in my head. And then when I would drop that physical thing, that allowed me to drop the thought.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's like our body has its ways of telling us, hey, this is going on right now. Pay attention. Whether it's, you're in a state of, low mood thinking or in a state of just so much thinking that there's no space in there for anything at all.
Well, my thinking gets so fast, it's like not even full thoughts. It's just like a couple words here in the ending of this sentence, in the beginning of this sentence, and the middle of this sentence over here, and they're just all going, and it's like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah. And it's awesome of how, like, when we become more aware of our conscious awareness, that we can observe those, like, those unhealthy patterns and thoughts. And we can observe those, like you said, those physical things, that would take place before we reach that state, or to say, hey, you're in this state, bring it
Right.
back down, slow it back down.
And
But go ahead.
it's crazy how just in that building your awareness, like that's the key. That's the key to it all. Stop being so aware of the content of your thinking because it changes all the time, brings the same feeling, but it's never the same content. You have patterns of thinking. We all have, and it's funny because I would catch myself at the beginning. I would be at work and someone would cut me off, and I'd be so like, oh, why are they doing that? And then I would stop and I would laugh at myself.
Yeah.
What? Nobody is doing anything differently than they ever do. The only thing that's different is the way you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
So then it's like I had to start to become aware, especially once I got off my meds, because
Hmm.
I taken all of my meds, like at the first of the year. And so I have to know, like, I know I'm more susceptible to get caught up in my head when I'm hungry, when I'm tired, when there's physical things and I'm not running on full par, then I know it's gonna be a lot easier for me to trick myself to get caught up in stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, the different physical states. Yeah. I like that. It just brings back the point of, you know, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul, however you want to put it. They're all connected to each other. They're all one thing. And so, makes sense, right? You're tired. Yeah, you're more susceptible to getting a little angry
Yeah.
or irritable, frustrated, any of those things. Same with hungry. I mean, that's why they're called hangry, right? I mean,
And I'm really bad about that because like before I wouldn't realize I was hungry until I had the knife and I was ready to get you. Like, come on, bring it. And it'd be like, hey, do you want some French fries? I'd be like, maybe I won't kill you after all. We're good.
yeah, it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me that when you grasp that your reality is shaped by your thoughts, and not just your thoughts, but just the the ones you choose to feed. Speaking of food, the ones you choose to feed and think about that then become this big, gigantic story in our head that takes up so much space. Then those thoughts, they can take us down. They can take us down for 5 minutes to, I've seen people being taken down their entire lives.
Well, and
Honestly.
not even just that. It's, yeah, people get taken down and we all get caught up in it. And I cut you off and then I totally lost track of what I was going to say. And I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize. No, don't apologize. You know what? I do it too. I do it too. And then I just remember that, you know what? It'll come back to me if it's, it'll come back to me. It happens to me all the time. So don't apologize.
Uh,
Not at all. Oh my gosh. No, this for me, like the principles and living the principles and, having a shift in awareness and all of that stuff has, I don't want to say made me a different person because I am myself. But instead of making me a different person, it's like it showed me and allowed me to be the person I was always meant to be,
yes.
you know? Not that person before, because the person before for me was a bit of, well, I would argue a lot because I was always right,
Right.
always. And I could fly off the handle pretty easily and get upset at silly little things, but I mean, to the point where, yelling, cursing, whatever. My kids would be scared to death if they told me something about their school day that I didn't approve of, like how it, maybe a staff member acted or even another student towards them. They wouldn't tell me because they knew how I would react.
Yes. My 16-year-old, he knows how I would fly off the handle before over the stupidest things. And it's because I was always running at like 250 miles an hour, trying to go, 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 get it all done, 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 but I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going in circles and ah.
Yes. I love that. And that's it's what happens. We don't, I mean, we don't know what we're doing. And we are. It's like we're just running in circles and just we're frantic and we don't even realize it. That's the strangest part to me, or at least now in reflection, is how did I not see it? Like how did I not know that these simple little things that I would get so upset over was just me feeding a thought that was attached to a feeling that led to behavior
Right.
that was most of the time obnoxious, you know?
Well, and then it's like, I don't know about you, but I would hide things from myself. Like, I was really good at, oh no, you're upset because of this, so I'm going to destroy this while you're over here looking at this. And
Yeah, absolutely.
was a self-sabotager. I just just a mess. My biggest thing was I didn't think I deserved whatever it was.
Right.
And um well, if I was going to lose it, I was going to lose it my way on my terms cuz I don't want to be able to blame anybody else. So I'm just going to go ahead and destroy all this right now.
Right? No, I can totally relate. I can totally relate to, if I'm gonna lose it, like
My
I'm gonna lose it. And people are gonna know that it's me that's doing it. But the funny part, and like kind of like when I say funny, I mean the thing that we don't even realize right there, like when we say if we're gonna lose it, it's gonna be our choice. Well, what we never realized, it really was our choice.
yeah,
It really
it was
was our choice.
that we had to lose it.
Yeah, say that again, because I think your mic might have cut out a little bit.
It was our choice that we had to lose it.
Absolutely. Beautiful. That is a wonderful point. Absolutely. And that's one of the areas that if you have a really busy mind, I don't think that we even fathom for a second that we have a choice.
Right. So I never knew I had a choice to just not engage with them. Okay, so I would I would try to counteract my negative thoughts, and I would try to flip it and turn it and twist it and get a new perspective. And I was doing all of the things, just not at a deep enough level. Okay, and
Yeah.
I was exhausted, and I was tired, and I was in a losing battle because there's so many more thoughts than there are you. And some days you just have bad days, and I just I didn't realize that I was having so many of them, and I didn't realize that I didn't have to.
And one thing I want to add to that is something that we don't realize too is that it's okay.
Yeah,
Because I think we're taught opposite. But it's okay to have a bad day. I
yeah,
mean, now in this understanding, I don't think so much that I would lose an entire day but I have, in having a bad day, having a bad week, having a bad whatever, month, year, whatever you want to say. Yeah. See, I've lost my thought now. It happens.
it happens. It's this understanding has it has taken away the fear. And it's funny because I still have the experience. We were driving to Yuma, me and my husband, and his driving scares me. But I know where my experience is coming from. So I just sat in my side and I would lean, hoping he would kind of take the car over my way a little bit and away from that line. But I didn't say anything. And finally, he said something to me, and I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. I know where my experience is coming from. So I'm not blaming you for it, and I'm not bitching at you.
Yeah,
But it doesn't change the fact that I'm having the experience. It's still there. I still feel it very much.
right.
It's not as strong. And now I know I can't blame you for it. So I have to just let it go instead of staying stuck in it.
Yeah, I like that point that you made there is that what we don't get also, and maybe comes from value systems, maybe it comes from social conditioning, whatever, wherever it comes from doesn't honestly matter. But we're led to believe that things like being sad at a situation or being angry or frustrated that's not okay. When we're built, even being anxious, there are times that you know what, it's okay to be anxious, but to realize that you what it is that it's your thinking and it's your anxious experience that you're creating via thought, and to be okay with that
Right.
is the game changer there. To be okay with, I'm not saying go around and and get mad and punch someone in the face and it's all good. No. I'm saying is realize that anger is an emotion, fear is an emotion. They're normal emotions for us to experience in our human experience.
We're supposed to feel them, but we're
Yeah.
not on to them. And
Thank
that
you.
we
Yeah.
hold them. And you talk about if thought were a stream,
Hmm.
we build dams.
Yeah. Absolutely.
dams, and then we wonder why it floods after we've let it build up for so long.
I love that. That's a great picture there. And it's the truth. That is what we do. We do. We build, I always say we build a wall,
Mm.
sometimes on certain things. And then we want to know why can't we see over the wall? Why can't I see because I just stacked the brick on the brick on the brick on the brick, until it was so big that I have no idea anymore what's on the other side. And I don't even know now. I don't have a ladder or whatever tall enough to climb that wall,
Yeah,
or even the strength inside of me to climb that wall. And then I think sometimes that's where people just give up.
right. Well, and
I lost your picture of you.
yep, sorry, my phone.
No, that's okay. We can still
That,
hear you.
okay. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. Um, what the wall? Okay.
Yeah. Climbing that wall, the things on the other side, that we get
Yeah,
so tired to a point where, we exhaust ourselves that getting over that wall seems like, why bother?
well, and then we think about the wall and how to get rid of it, and it just makes the wall bigger, and it just keeps it. And so I've been um, listening to Eckhart Tolle, read a couple of his books and
Yeah, right.
his courses, and these aren't his exact words, but what I've heard him say is
Right.
if you, in order to knock your ego on its ass, come into the present moment.
It's true.
Yes. And so that was so uncomfortable for me at first because I'm used to going in so many different directions and all the time, and it was hard. And so it's just like the practicing a little bit at a time every day, so many times a day. And like at work I practice, not thinking. I have a headset and it gives me a number, and then I have to repeat a check digit to it.
Mhm.
But I'm really practicing the not labeling and not repeating because I would narrate in my head still when I was being present. Oh, there's a bird. Oh, I would always narrate. Well, then you're not being present. You gotta. So now I use my day job to practice being present, not labeling, not repeating things, not. And that's how I make it okay to go to work every day still.
No, I mean, yeah. Because, like you said, not his exact words, but it honestly, until I got clarity of mind and was in the present moment, that that's where everything changed for me. And it's not okay. I don't want anybody to think like you can just snap your fingers. I mean, that would be a tool, let's say, or a method. That's a better word for it. It it's something that you see. It's a feeling inside. It's something you see inside you. It's not this like destination that you can say, okay, take me there right now. Because intellectually, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and it's not this like great, all amazing, oh my God, I found it. This is key. You know, it's very subtle, very quiet, it's very still, and
Yeah,
it's really easy to miss because it's the space.
I love the space.
You can't measure space until you add a physical, something you measure it from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But it's the space. And I came up with a great little thing with the clouds and, the thought clouds and stuff.
Hmm.
But when we're identified with the form, with the
Hmm.
physical, okay, then we're underneath the clouds of thought and left to withstand whatever they bring. But as we start to identify with the space beyond the form,
Hmm.
the sky, untouched, unbothered by whatever weather comes.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. On the first episode, and in here, I talk about, just briefly explaining what the three principles are: mind, thought, and consciousness. And I use weather as an example for all three of them, and mind being atmosphere,
Yep.
thought being what the weather patterns, and consciousness is our ability to feel the different weather patterns. But no matter what happens, no matter what kind of thinking we're in, no matter if it's storming outside or if it's raining outside or snowing, it doesn't matter, because the one thing that is constant and not changing is the atmosphere.
Yep.
It's still the atmosphere. It just has the ability for the different weather patterns to form and pass on through.
Yeah. And pass on through. That's the thing. That's the thing we always have to remember. Because when a storm comes in, it's thundering and lightning, there's loud thoughts that make you feel scared and
Hmm.
insecure, and you feel it physically in your body. You feel these thoughts, and it's really scary. And if we don't know that they're going to end, that they're going to pass through, that's even scarier.
Yeah.
But when we know the true nature of thought, that thought is just like the clouds, and it's going to change, turn into something different, and then be gone before you know it.
Are you back with me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry you got cut off there for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, it's okay. It's okay. It gave me a warning. So that you had been cut off for a minute. But no, I won't keep you too much longer. But I know, absolutely.
You're good.
Because it's like, once we can see that, this space that we keep talking about, and it's that peace that we're all chasing, when we can trust that, and not just trust, know, okay, like, know truly that beneath everything is our innate well-being. It's there. It's never gone anywhere, you
Yeah.
know. And sometimes maybe we never even knew it existed, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Because I know for me, I can say truly, I did not know that it existed. That I was built this way, because I really
Me,
thought I was built the other way, with all the anger and the
trauma and
whatever,
issues, the
all
very many
the
issues.
with all the yeah, the different weather patterns that were going through my atmosphere. I had no idea, that beneath that noise of thought is our well-being. Or in its innate, it will not go anywhere. Just have
And
to.
the coolest thing about that is you no longer have to search. Now all you have to do is let go to let it come up.
That was beautiful.
Wait,
Yeah.
Because, I was a searcher. I was always trying to figure out who I was and what, astrology, all of it, anything and everything, personality tests, Carl Jung, and all this, trying to figure out who I was and what was going on. And I felt broken, and then it's like there was these certain parts of me that truly believed something was better, but then I thought that those were just symptoms of my mental illness, so that's not real. When
Right.
it turns out that was my innate well-being.
Yeah.
And uh, it just learning that our default is okay, is content, is not stressed, not overwhelmed, not ready to break at anything if somebody looks at you wrong because, oh, what, you know?
Right.
And to let go of all of that and to step into a place of less judgment and where you're no longer trying to be something you're not or trying not to be something that you are,
Yeah.
and you just get to be it. That's the thing, and it's so easy to overlook because it doesn't have bells and whistles, because it doesn't have bright shiny lights saying, hey, hey, I'm your peace and clarity right here. So we don't see it.
Right.
We look over it so often because there's so much noise
Yeah.
that
More.
demands our attention.
Yeah. More than we realize too. The noise.
Yes.
More, so much more, like we said. Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah. Because it is just that slower, peaceful, quiet stillness. And it's not a screamer, you know? It's not a screamer.
No, it's the quiet, shy kid in the back
Yeah.
that doesn't really talk to anybody, but it's there.
But that quiet, shy kid in the back will definitely say something. Most of the time we just choose to not even pay attention.
Or we're so busy listening to the other kids in the class that can't hear their little voice.
Yeah. I love it. Beautiful. Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel wonderful.
Me too.
I absolutely love it. And I would love, yeah, to have you back again sometime.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, your journey is an amazing journey. Should you ever want to tell the full story, that's up to you. Um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, I'd love to have you back because I know that I won't, say anything, but I know you have some amazing projects.
I'm working on them. And
Yeah.
yeah, I actually want to talk to you about that when we're not recording.
That beautiful. That sounds great. That sounds great. So, yeah, if anybody would want to reach out to you and have a chat with you, is there a way for them to get a hold of you?
Yes, www.discoveryourbestlifenow.com. Or you can
Beautiful.
email me at www.discoveryourbestlife@gmail.com.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'll put that in the comments for anybody that would love to get in touch with Jennifer. She is amazing and Her story is amazing and it's hers to tell. And we might do that another time, but she does also have some wonderful, wonderful things in the works. So, Jennifer, oh my gosh, thank you because
Thank you.
I really enjoyed our talk, and I hope the viewers do as well because it just makes me feel good.
Me too. And I love talking to you. I love our conversations all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching, listening, and I hope that you will come back, hit the subscribe, the like, get in touch with Jennifer if you want to talk, get in touch with me.
Yes.
Either way.
Thank you.